Giddy up, how you going? It is Thursday, 12:30. No, is it 12:30? It's 11:30 p.m. I'm just taken back to a past life where I used to do something at 12:30 on a Thursday. It's 11:30 a.m. on Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. That makes it 2:30 in New Zealand until the end of daylight savings in a month's time. Neil, how you doing today, brother?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
I know that. I know you're awesome.
I'm always awesome. We've clicked over. There's a zero popped into my life now, and another digit.
Zero popped into your life. It makes it sound so terrible.
Well, I don't know. If you kind of look at zeros, it's like the more zeros I have in my life, I think I would be happier and happier and happier.
Well, this is true, isn't it?
Yeah. It's. I was just listening to someone else about zeros, and zero is a sort of like a completion. So it's kind of interesting where that's at. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to today's show. We've got. I guess it's my time to get quality time with you. I know you're a busy man. You've got so many other things that you're doing and juggling around. I'm amazed at how you managed to fit it all in. But I'm really humbled.
The truth is, if you could see my desk over there, it just keeps piling up, and I don't do it. That's not entirely true. I'm much, much better than I used to be.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, bro.
Yeah. No, it's...
You just said something then about the zeros, adding the zeros. It reminds me of something I read this morning. I almost shared it because it was about musicians, but I think it's very pertinent for life, for the whole thing. And it was a musician will learn an instrument and they'll play, and the more they learn, the more they realize they don't know. And that's true of life as well. The more we learn about our existence, about what makes us tick, about all those things, the more we realize that we really have no freaking clue.
Yeah. It's like, every time that we get together and we have discussions and we talk about things, but it just leads to more questions. Everything leads to more questions.
100%.
I mean, here I am, just turned 60, and happy birthday to you for yesterday, just turning 40. I think 40 had a zero connected onto your age, but it's like,
I'll get back to that.
A zero with a little tick on it could be an upside down Q or something.
Well, so I figure I turned 20 yesterday with 46 years experience.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. At this age, I mean, I don't feel anything like 60. I feel like a little spring chicken, just sort of out of the egg, and just learning so much. There's so much to learn, and boy, we sort of thrust into that learning mode on a daily basis, I guess, with the current global situation and everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've sent me some pretty interesting videos this morning. I think we'll probably have a look at a couple of them, just to have a bit of a discussion around. But I think it's safe to say that there's a lot going on around the world. I mean, we say that every week, and I guess to the untrained eye, and I don't mean that in a condescending way or anything like that. It's some people are looking for it and some people aren't. So I guess that's probably the better way to look at. For those that are looking for it and can see, there's definitely plenty going on. I mean, I see Liz Franchini just shared another train derailment where there's diesel leading into a lake or something. So all these things. They're not by accident. I mean, a lot of people would like to think they're accident, but they're not. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, how many times did it need to be an accident before? How many accidents do they need to be along the same train derailment? Which is, we're connected with a transport safety, a transport company which is above the second level and the second tier,
yes.
And the risk, the certification that needs to go through for safety around that is like relentless. And
absolutely.
So to be, how many train derailments do you need in a week for something to be drastically wrong?
Yeah. Oh, let's just switch to that so it's off the ground and people aren't going to get hit by it. Takes up less footprint, uses less land. We can reclaim that land, put it back into fertile soil. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about a project called Skyway that we're both involved with. We got involved a few years ago. We're still investors there. They're moving along in Sharjah. and of course in Belarus, and I'm trying to think of Marina Gorka. Marina Gorka.
Yeah. And on that, we've been to both locations and we've
Yes.
ridden on the technology. So it's like we know it firsthand, far better than anything else that's out there in the marketplace right now.
Absolutely. I just want to shout out to Corolla and Roger joining us from Canada.
Hey,
Hey
guys.
Hope you're well.
Yeah, love you guys. I can't wait to meet you two guys and give you guys a massive hug when that day comes.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to, because my eyes aren't that good anymore. Apparently you turn 46 and your eyesight goes bad.
I'll cut that out.
I'm trying to read a little number on my Stream Deck to tell us how many people. I'm going to show everybody so you can see it. There's a little number here. It's got an eye on it. That's the amount of people that are watching, and it's actually over the eye. It's 5, but I wish that number was
5
bigger.
eyes. 5 eyes.
Oh, where did we see? Saw something about 5 eyes the other day about it's just about to be it's close to collapsing. I know there's going to be a lot of people watch that and go, ha, ha, close to collapsing, just like NATO. Ha, ha, ha. Yep, just like NATO. Fuck them.
I see NATO's lining up. Is it the rest of their artillery to head into Ukraine to put into scrap heaps? That's what's going on there. all lined up at the borders, ready to drive it into the ditch.
Into the ditch. Holy shit! I just looked at my messages and I've got 21 from my astrologer.
Oh,
when there was none there this morning, so my reading might be ready for the year. Might have to go look at that later. Not right now, obviously, because we've got other important things to look at. Like this that you sent me earlier. I'm gonna
the lighter side of genocide, isn't it?
The lighter side of genocide. Oh, well, you got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you cry. Hey, so have a watch of this if you haven't seen it yet.
The sticker on the back of his truck, it's fucking Biden. I'm dying. Can you post it? Please get pulled over.
In case you're not sure who that is, that's Joseph Biden.
Oh my god.
Well, at least an image of him in the back of that car.
Thanks, dude.
Thought that was kind of funny. Oop. Meant to be both of us, not just me.
You know that people are waking up when you can see that sort of stuff, and waking up for someone to have that printed and stuck on the back of their trailer, driving around the States is like, is that guy wide awake and doing his best to wake up as many people as he can?
Well, the other thing you got to think of is was he legitimately elected? And this next video sort of. I won't play it all, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of this, guys, because it's quite interesting, kind of interesting.
Can you make the screen?
Hey guys, we're here at the inauguration.
Oh, yep, look at that.
It's the most bizarre scene you ever saw in your life. There's like 100 people at the Biden inauguration.
Who supposedly got more votes than Trump from his basement.
It's dystopian.
So look at the cloud cover. It's great.
There's nobody here.
Yeah, all overcast.
There's like more people up here with the press overlooking the Capitol than there are at the inauguration. We're here with Fox News and CNN, and this guy Eric is
Constant
great from TBN.
News.
He's a Middle East correspondent. Really great coverage. Conservative. So, again, it's freezing here. It's like 25 degrees. It's snowing. Kamala Harris and Amy Klobuchar just spoke. There are more people at the West Palm Beach airport waiting for Trump than there are here at the inauguration. True.
So I think we've seen enough of that. So you can see there was. So the interesting thing about that, and you know this, Neil, this is for everyone else watching. In fact, this is the bit that come underneath it, and I say Neil knows this because he sent it to me. This is going to fucking bury the media and the Democrats, rhinos. I've said it for 2 years now. It was bitterly cold, snow flurries and grey skies, yet the official media inauguration of Biden showed blue skies and clouds. Charlie Ward said the following day that the inauguration was partially pre-recorded and the blue skies were undoubtedly filmed at Culver City Studios near Sacramento in California. So, you can't really believe too much that you see on TV. In fact, none of what you see on TV really. Did you send me that video as well about what you can believe on TV, or was that Sam?
I mean, most people that watching this and watch us and watch alternative media already know that there's nothing real coming through mainstream media. In fact,
just to add a little bit of humour to that, have a look at this and listen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the US Capitol building. If you've joined us today for the insurrection, please make sure you pick up a promotional leaflet on the way in, stay inside the safety cordons at all times, and if you get lost, speak to one of our Capitol Police officers. They'll be sure to point you in the right direction. And be sure to set aside a little time today to join us for some insurrection activities, including our photography tour, our fancy dress competition, and have a go on our climbing wall. But don't forget those safety ropes. And I've now received the results of our fancy dress competition. The winner today is Jacob Chansley. That's Mr. Jacob Chansley. If you could report to your nearest Capitol Police officer, they'll be sure to give you your prize, a guided tour of the building. And all that's left is for me to thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the insurrection. Wherever possible, please try to clean up after yourselves. Don't forget to visit the souvenir shop on the way out. And feel free to join us on the outdoor terrace for Nancy Pelosi's Insurrection Soiree. Grab yourself a light refreshment and enjoy the music of our very own fancy dress competition winner.
interesting what that bell there's all about.
That's hilarious, isn't it?
I just scrolling through, the lighter side of everything, and that's what makes it less painful, I suppose. But it's a great way of poking the stick at the lies, isn't it, and the bullshit. Just fantastic. What else did we bloody line up there? Have you frozen? Are you just
no, I'm still here. Sorry. I'm just looking at something here that I was meant to have done and haven't. So just don't mind me, guys. You're right.
That's like, Andrew asked me when we first connected before we jumped online. It's like, well, how are you feeling? What's going on? And for me, this week sort of seems to be fairly quiet, although they're all saying that we're in the sort of March, the month of madness.
That's right. So let's talk about what's already happened this week then, Neil. I mean, obviously it was my birthday, which is a pretty significant thing for me, but the 7th was a full moon in Virgo.
Yeah.
Now, I remember I said to you last week, right, that and I sent you that video from Pam Gregory. Pam Gregory's an astrologist, guys. So if you want to go and check her out on YouTube, Pam Gregory, no endorsements or anything like that, go and check her out because she talks about the full moon that just came in on the 7th. And there's a lot of information in that. And she talks about the death and rebirth of a lot of things, including the financial system, because it brings in, I think it's Sedna. I think that's what she was talking about, a planet that is on an 11,400 year orbit. So it's not like we're going to see it again in our lifetime. This is here now. But it coincides with a lot of changes throughout history. If we look back 11,400 years, then we're probably going to see there was some significant change at that time as well. Although, if you read the Bible, it says that we're only 6,000 years old. Which is interesting, given that they've got the DNA dates back 200,000 odd years for Adam. So I don't know. Who do you believe, the Bible or... Because Adam's in the Bible. So did somebody make up some stories and write a book and say, well, this is the official line. We're 6,000 years old. Is that it? It's something to consider. I'm just throwing that out there. By the way, anything we say today is our opinion. And you should research it.
I mean, the Bible has been changed by those that have decided to change it, obviously leaders at top levels. But my understanding is that there are over 700 copies or something, and there's only like 66 available today that have been printed. So it's like, where's all the information gone?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
in all the original text.
And we've spoken about it before, like the book of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas. Why was that left out? And that, thank you, Joe and Barry, if you're watching this. That comes back to this, and I shared that with you last week, Neil, about I don't think we spoke about the synchronicity of what happened on the show, but the book of Thomas talks a lot about the stuff that's in here, and these are the Hermetic principles. Now, Bob Proctor lived his life by the Hermetic principles. The Secret, the movie, The Secret, is based upon the Hermetic principles. So, very interesting that sort of shit was left out. Why was it left out? And we've spoken about this before too. It was left out deliberately because if you know those secrets, if you understand how they work and believe them, then your life can be totally different to what it is today.
Well, yeah, it just rolls back into the whole lie and the dumbing down of humanity and everything, and why have they dumbed us down in the first place? It's because we are far more capable as an individual or as a collective on what we think we are, and books like that with that information. It's like if we were all on the same page at the same time, reading the same words of wisdom. The global collective of that, I'm sure, would raise like the 100th monkey effect real quickly.
If we were speaking words of wisdom, we'd have to let it be.
Let it be. Let it be.
When I find myself in times of trouble. Oh. Anyway, on another note, Latin. We're no longer talking Latin either. Why? Should we have a look at that? That thing that I sent you? Should we have a look?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And guys, I'm going to show you a video. Okay. Because I've shown you a couple of videos. What was that?
People need to put their seatbelt on for this one, especially if you've got a mortgage.
Yeah. If you got a variable rate mortgage, then you should have a watch of this. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I've worked in and around finance for a long time in investment properties and things like that, in investments, and I'd never heard this before, what he's just said. But on one level, it makes sense to me. So I'm trying it, and I set it all up today, because I only just got this video this morning, and I'll let you know in a month how it's gone, because I'll know in a month of how it's gone. But just have a watch. What, you going to say something, Neil?
Yeah, I was, but carry on.
It'll come back. Just have a watch of this and let us know what you think.
I don't usually do these sort of things. I'm not a big TikTok user, but what I am good at is finance and understanding how to beat the banks. So I've got a couple of people that I've given this advice to, and everyone's been telling me that I should make it public. So here we go. With the interest rates rising in this country and with everyone going through financially hard times, I have some advice for you on how to beat the banks. In this country, and I mean this is a global problem, people don't understand finance, they don't understand how money works. Specifically in relation to interest rates, they don't understand how compound interest works. So I tell people this all the time. If you have mortgages, if you have loans, the best way to beat the banks is to stop playing their game. The reason why banks want you to pay mortgage rates monthly is because they rely on a thing called compound interest. Now, compound interest accrues over the course of that 30 days. You make a payment, say if your mortgage is $1,000, 70% of that is interest, 30% of that is on the capital of the loan. So essentially per month you're paying $700 in interest. Now, how do you beat them? Well, you need to stop the compound interest from accruing. So, how do you do that? If you're paying $1,000 a month, pay an extra $30 and pay $1 per day to your bank. Because as I said earlier, compound interest goes up over the course of the month, and then it goes, when you make the payment, it goes bang, down 70%. If you make $1 payment per day, it goes up. First day you make a payment, it goes, oh shit, back down to zero. make another payment the next day, dollar, oh, it goes down to zero. If you do that for 30 days, the end of that 30 days, that mortgage payment that you make will be 100%, 100, on the capital that you have on that loan. You will pay a big fat zero in interest. Absolutely zero in interest. And you will end up cutting your mortgage from 25 years down to about 5. Now, the trick with this, and it's another reason why the banks and all these people, they want you to be on fixed interest rates, because if you're on a fixed interest rate, you can't do this strategy. You can't do this because you're locked into a fixed interest rate. The only way that it works is if you do it on a variable rate, because obviously it drops the interest rate to zero. Well, day 1, pay $1, zero. Day 2, zero. Day 3, zero, 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 and so on. Till you get to the end of that month when you pay your mortgage repayment, 100% of it goes on to your capital of your loan. So the banks don't make any money, and you pay off your loan in about a fifth of the time. And you can do this with credit cards, you can do this with car loans, anything that has a variable interest rate, you can do it, and you can beat the banks. Now obviously the trick here is to make sure that you can do this, you have the opportunity to do this. They can't stop you from doing this though. Obviously they will try to stop you from doing this. They don't like people doing this, they don't like people having this knowledge, which is why they try to say, oh yes, go and get a better interest rate. No, just stop paying interest. Nobody out there needs to be paying interest. Get smarter. Be better than the banks. I mean, 90% of the world's population don't even know what mortgage stands for. So mortgage is a Latin word. And it's one of the reasons why they stopped teaching Latin in the world, in schools, in the 90s. Because they don't want people to understand. Most Reserve Bank charters, most banking charters are written in Latin. That's why they stopped teaching it. But the point I'm trying to get to is mortgage is a 2-part Latin word. Mort, in front of my finger, so mort stands for, well, what do they do at a mortuary? At a mortuary, they bury dead people. So mort stands for death. Gage in Latin stands for pledge. So a mortgage is essentially a death pledge between you and the bank. They never ever expect you to pay it off. It's modern day indentured slavery. So my goal and my reason for doing this post today is to educate people. Educate people that there is a better way, there's a smarter way, there's an easier way to beat the banks, to not pay them any money, and to get your home owned a hell of a lot quicker than what they allow you to. Now obviously the banks don't like this. I've tried to say this stuff before, tried to get this knowledge out to the world, and my comments get deleted. I did a post today on a bank, deleted in 15 minutes, it was gone. So the banks don't like this, they don't like this knowledge being out there, and they will try to stop you. They will send you cease and desist letters, they will try to stop you from doing it, but at the end of the day, they can't. If you get a cease and desist letter, once you start doing this $1 a day payment thing to your financial institution, ignore it, scrap it up, put it in the bin. What are they going to do? Take you to court and say, oh, Your Honour, he's paying too much. They get laughed out of court. So if you want to beat the banks, beat them by not paying compound interest. Cheers guys, hope you enjoyed that, and be safe out there.
So there you go. Yep, even credit card apparently. That's pretty good information. Give us a thumbs up if you think that's pretty good information.
Yeah, and I guess as you listen to that, as well as I've listened to that for the second time, you know, it kind of is more clearer and probably answers a few more questions. So I'm excited to see how you go. You should be able to see the results at the end of the first month, I guess, when that mortgage payment's due. Should
be able to, because I can see what the balance is, and if the full amount comes off the balance, then obviously it's worked.
Yeah.
If I'm talking about the full amount of my payment. Now I don't pay monthly; I pay fortnightly. So that is a trick that I did know. Is that, you know, obviously when you do, and guys, this isn't financial advice, by the way. This is just general information. I know what you can do and what the bank always, when you set up a mortgage, we can have another talk about that too. Actually, we can go further into that. But when you set that up, the banks always want you to pay monthly, and the reason why they want you to pay monthly is because they receive more. So that is true. I know that for a fact. So if you can pay your mortgage weekly, you end up paying less in interest over just doing that. Just paying it weekly as opposed to monthly reduces your mortgage by 5 years. So if that's the case, then maybe what he said, maybe there's a lot of merit to what he said. But I'll let you guys know. I don't know for sure. I don't know. I'm not going, man, that's it. You've got to do that. I'm going to test it. I'm definitely going to test it. And I know somebody else that's going to test it with a card.
Well, that's those are little simple things that allow you to play within the existing trannery system.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look at the bigger picture of what's going on, I'm led to believe that we're actually beating them at their own game. They're being exposed with their own rules and things that they've created to enslave us. So that's how this whole thing has to be
usury
to be done.
But isn't that funny though? If they'll send you cease and desist, well, okay, take me to court. Well, you can tell the judge I'm paying too much off. What?
Yeah. Well, they
mind you, the judges are corrupt, so who knows?
Yeah. What? We have always known though that but with the mortgages though, we've always known that if you pay, you can pay it off quicker. Yeah. And I guess, but they don't tell you to the extent of $1 a day and how to avoid that.
No, and I think that's like a little magic trick, isn't it? Like a little cheat code. Because that's why you have offset accounts or revolving credit accounts, so that you can pay more into your mortgage each month and live off a credit card, and then pay for 55 days free credit on a credit card if you pay it off each month. But you could circumvent that just by paying the dollar by the sounds of that. But they don't tell you that if you do that, that's kind of, I'm definitely going to try it. Yeah, Corolla, no problem. I can. No problem at all.
Well, we're going to put that. Oh, no, you've already sent that to me.
Actually, I'll drop it in for those. Okay, disclaimer, not rant coming up. Shameless promotion coming up. Guys, if you're new to the show, then please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow. It's great to be able to get the content out there to people. There is, and I haven't put the link in, but there's usually a link in the description of the Telegram group that we've got. We drop stuff in there periodically throughout the week. I won't say we're incredibly active in there, but we do drop stuff in there that's of interest. So I'll put the link to that inside that group, guys, and that'll make it easy for everyone. So if you're not yet in that group, I'm going to drop the link in the comments. I'm just going to go find the link if I can get the link. If I can get a link. But if you're not in that group, then you can... Where's it? There it is. Yes. Here's the link for the Telegram, guys. So join the Telegram channel. There's a few people in there. We drop stuff in there. I put something in there last week. Somebody asked about sovereign gold bonds, and I dropped the QR code for the correct one because it's hard to search for sometimes inside of Lobster, but that's there for people to grab. Oh,
you got to get some of those. That would be the cheapest.
Oh yeah, if that does what it's supposed to do, oh my goodness, that's your best chance of ever becoming a billionaire, I think.
Yeah, for a lazy $10, you can set yourself up for a long period of time.
Or a lazy 40.
Yeah, it's like whatever you're prepared to lose. You know what that is? That's like not financial advice.
That's right. Only use stuff that you're prepared to lose, guys, in case it goes the wrong way. Always have your backstops in place. None of this is financial advice. It's just what I do. I've got precious metals, and I've also got I've got a specific set of skills. Now I've got a specific set of cryptocurrencies, ISO currencies that I believe are going to be key in the new financial system, and I've got a whole heap, like 700 plus speculatory ones that even if one of them comes off, well, the pina coladas are on me. I'll have a virgin one, of course.
I guess we're sort of looking at and I sort of said to you, there's not much really happening on the face of things. And for me, coming back into the first part of the month, sort of supposedly the March madness or madness of March of month. Jeepers, too many M's.
Fucking spit it out, man.
As I said to you, it's like, well, if it's not sort of happening on the surface, then there's a shitload of stuff happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about that we were talking about a little bit earlier? I guess sort of like switching gears a little bit, but those 64,000 arrests.
Oh, I missed that. Tell me, what happened?
So, I shared that with you in the, it's just under those other links that I shared with you this morning.
Mm-hmm.
When you kind of see how they're all interconnected and sort of run through the CIA and this whole woman terrorism, but what's going on when you actually look at the video?
Yeah, the 64,000 cartel members.
Oh, it's
Do you want
like,
to watch that video?
yeah, just we don't have to look through the whole lot of it, but it's like you can see, or there's probably some links that come to explain that a little more. Though the guys that are actually that they've got that on their show, it's pretty compelling. It's pretty good information, and you can sort of see how the dark side have been, I guess, keeping people bribed. And is there sound with that? Should be sound. Got it turned off.
I muted it so you could talk.
Oh, okay.
What's been dubbed the country's new mega prison. It just opened. It's believed to be the largest prison in the Americas with a capacity for 40,000 people. And it's the latest step in a controversial crackdown on crime that's caused the country's prison population to soar.
Watch the stats, though.
Human rights organizations have reported that innocent people have been caught up in the law enforcement campaign. That includes dozens, they
Notice
say,
all their faces are covered, so these guys don't remember them.
Yeah.
Last year, the country's president asked Congress for emergency powers to temporarily suspend some constitutional rights after a massive spike in murders attributed to gang crime. It includes that arrests can be made without a warrant and detainees no longer have a right to a lawyer. Private communications of all citizens
That's dangerous.
can also be accessed by the government. Since then, about 64,000 suspects have been arrested. The murder reports fell about 57%.
Did you hear that?
Last year.
Okay, go back 10 seconds to hear that stat again. It's important for the audience to hear that. Go right there and play it. Listen to the
Accessed by
stat.
the government. Since then, about 64,000 suspects have been arrested. The murder reports fell about 57%.
Damn.
Wow.
That's huge, huh?
Well, that is part of the CIA's. What is it? Is it what's that gang? And I think Trump
M13 or MS13.
MS13, and that's just an extended version of what that is and what they've been doing, and the corruption. It's almost like a street level army one of the three-letter agencies is created, which kind of helps fight their battle from the underground, from the other side, which is the murders and stuff like that. Now, if you think about just that one gang of 64,000, you think about expanding that around the world. Every country has this type of issue. You imagine, if you look at the crime rate being down 57%. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. So what would that mean as this kind of every country takes on this type of law or control of that evilness, sort these gangs out and help people feel a lot safer and comfortable in their homes. Cut out the women, all the bullshit that's going on that these guys have been paid to create.
100%.
Oh, it's like that's massive, and it doesn't hit mainstream news in anywhere that I've seen. Why?
No, exactly, and there's so much of that being kept away from us. This, I think from what I see, and I'm going to link this back to something I was going to say before. We're starting to see people are starting to become more and more aware. One, of the fact they've been lied to, and two, that it's been the media that's been lying to them. I mean, I'm going to share something really ridiculous. Somebody shared with me last week, and some of you may or may not have seen this, but somebody shared with me last week that somebody had taken a whole heap of photos of mine and are using it as their profile picture and all sorts of shit. Includes my wife and kids. Sarah's none too impressed, I can let you know that. But clearly, it's a fake profile. It hasn't got many friends. I reported the profile, as did at least 30 other people. And Facebook kept coming back, oh no, well they haven't breached any community guidelines, so they're fine. So then they said you can report the specific content. Okay, so I reported every single photo and said it violates privacy issues. Nothing. And as I said, at least 30 other people reported it as well, so they would have got the same thing back. Oh, it hasn't breached community guidelines. No, but you'll allow pedophilia to run rampant in the website, because they do. I mean, there's groups that are set up for that. How does that not go against the community guidelines? What is this is a question, a serious question. Is Facebook run by a pedophile? Is Mark Zuckerberg, does he like kids? I don't know. It's a question I'm posing to people, because if they allow that, but they don't allow, they then allow people with fake profiles to come and use other people's images, how's that okay? So my thought behind that is like, this has got to be a fucking joke, right? This has to be a setup to show how corrupt Facebook is. It has to be, because there's more and more profiles popping up, and there'll be more and more people complaining, but nothing happens. Surely this has got to fucking wake the people up. But with that in mind, I got this to play.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
I'm glad you paid that, because I could feel your tension rising a little bit, because this guy's really pissed you off. Mind you, is it even a guy?
Well, that's right. It's probably just a fucking bot, a troll.
But here's the thing on that, and potentially it's a badge of honor, Andrew, because you're if somebody wants to duplicate what you're doing, then clearly you're doing something right that attracts people to do what you're doing, and whether they're using it for the right purposes or not. But it's not. I'm not saying I want somebody to go and copy me. I don't do anything right, so it's like it's not worth copying.
It's not true.
So it's like, yeah. So I don't know. Take that the way that you want, but it's like, it's clearly wrong.
It is.
And
I mean,
clearly,
I'm kind of over it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But it's not even him. It's Facebook's reaction that's what got me upset. Or not even upset. Got me riled up, because how stupid do people need to be not to see through the bullshit? And it's the same with what we were just talking about there. I mean, that all of the truth now starting to come out about the January 6th thing 2 years ago now, mind you, right? But you can clearly see that it was there was no insurrection. It was they were led into the Capitol building. Well, that's not what we've been told for the last 2 years. Most of us knew that, but it's not what's been in the mainstream, and now it's starting to go mainstream thanks to Tucker Carlson. God, love that guy.
it's good seeing the deep state though, or as our man Mr. Carlson points out, you've got people that are bitching and moaning about what he's aired from both sides of the floor. So it's like you're not only showing
rhinos.
You're showing that it's not about party to party. It's about everybody's different agendas, and it's like
100%.
Their agenda and our agenda. And it's like, so what he's done is highlighted it on more than one level. There's so many more things going on here than just what really happened on January the 6th. It's showing these guys up for who they really are.
Much more. I honestly think we're going to see a lot of fireworks this month. I really do, and we said that last week. And I'm even more convinced now. So, question I have: did we talk about RGJ on this last week, or RJG? Did we talk about him on here last week?
We touched on him and talking about the quantum grammar.
That's right, we did too. Now I know you were on Monday. You were going to start to have a bit of a look at their website, but did we stop at the paywall? Is that what stopped us?
Yeah, although I've continued to watch him. I watched him and Sasha Stone yesterday, and they both kind of hold each other. Well, the interviewee lady holds them both in high esteem. Sasha from the spiritual side of things, and Russell from the language part of it. Although they are kind of interconnected in a way. So yeah, I just sort of, I guess, well, I mean, we'll try and find some links for you guys to have a look and do your own research on it, or listen to these guys and what they're talking about, especially Russell. You know, he
Russell.
is Russell.
Russell.
He's he's the guy that pretty much is at the top of the helm on so many different levels here.
Was that, you remember that Smacko's ad? Was it Russell that used to get the Smacko from that woman? Russell, I've got another snack for you.
You should now play that biryani clip.
Welcome to the Curry Festival. No, we better not say that word on here.
It's not.
There's some places I won't go. It still makes me laugh though, even 4 years later.
Oh, that was. Thanks for sharing that. It brought back.
I'll drop it in the group for anyone that wants to know what we're talking about. It makes me laugh every time I watch it, even 4 years on from the first time I saw it. I shared it with Neil again recently because I was looking through photos in between my 22,000 photos. I found it and I was like, I'm going to send this to Neil because it still makes me laugh. Let us know if you want to see it.
Yeah. If you want, I guess it's the lighter side of everything. It was pretty appropriate for where we were at the time, and a bit of a giggle. I certainly had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. Considering we were just about to go to India, was even funnier. Because remember when we got it? We got it in London when we were at that speaker thing with Andy Harrington, and then we got that video. It was like, oh my god! And then we went to India, so it was even funnier.
Craziness.
Oh, Roger said yes. Okay, I'll put it in the group. I'll put it in the group.
So
Welcome to the Curry Festival.
So it's Rodgar, not Roger.
Sorry,
Rodgar. Yeah. So we got you corrected there, Rodgar. Hey guys. I'm not sure if you want to send any of those other things that I sent through to you. There was some of these military guys getting hauled over the coals by from the correct political arena, which is bloody good to see. And there was who was it? Our guy over at Richard Citizen. He put an update up, and he's a guy. I'm not sure if you know who Richard Citizen is. He was a guy that was in New York and did all the filming and showed that New York was dead. There was nobody there.
New York, you mean DC?
DC, sorry, yeah. But so many different centers around the world, around that whole region where he's been basically going there. Anwar Craven went there with him as well, and they did a whole tour as well.
That's right. I mean, I remember watching Anwar's video. We should chuck that in the group if we haven't already. Anwar Craven is a Neil and I are both friends with him. He's an entrepreneur. He's a very well-heeled entrepreneur. He might not have always been well-heeled, but he is now through his different ventures. He works a lot with sound and frequency, which we've spoken about. This is the machine that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago. So I'll have more information on that for you guys. I've been using it, and it's amazing. But he went to DC to see it for himself, and he took video footage and just what was it? The Treasury building with busted out windows and the car park overgrown with weeds and shit, just because it's not being used. There's no one there. No one.
I think the IRS as well, the IRS building.
Yeah.
All the important buildings, and like some of the stuff I've shared, like I shared with you, which you said you'd seen it before, was the
tax thing.
Tax and all that part of it. It's like that kind of.
Did you share that?
Yep, shared that with you in there.
Did you share it in the group?
Yeah, sorry, I did. Yeah, I shared that under the rack.
I see. Yep.
Yeah.
No law requiring you to pay income tax. Oh shit, we might get women shut down for saying that. But I've said it for years. Taxation's theft. If you have to part with something through intimidation, which is let's face it, they say what do they say if you don't pay your tax? You don't pay your tax, you're going to get a fine. You're going to get arrested. You're going to go to jail. Well, that's a threat. That's intimidation. So therefore, it's theft. It's simple. Everything is in language. Everything is created in language, and that's why RJG with his quantum grammar, why that grammar is so important. Because language literally sets you free. Literally.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the difference between a man, a woman, and a person? Lots. A person is a fictional entity. It doesn't actually exist, only on paper. You're not a person. I'm not a person. I'm a man. You're a man. Well, we are of flesh and bone. We are not. And guys, this is all in Black's Law's dictionary. Go and look it up. They do try and hide it, of course, but it's all there. And I know for a fact that when I was standing in front of the magistrate in Sydney, when I brought up Black's Law's dictionary and the fact that a person is a fictional entity, she fucking hated it. Because I knew. And she didn't like that I knew.
Yeah. She made it more difficult. Well, she put you through the ringer even more, didn't she?
Oh, she did. She was a bitch. She was an absolute bitch.
Yeah. And just imagine if you had the quantum grammar under your belt.
Oh, yeah.
That you would have been able to, she wouldn't have been able to have the control over you that she had.
Mate,
or created.
I'll be honest, I've learnt quite a bit since then. I wouldn't even go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah, no. Here's this piece of plastic that is apparently me. Take that.
Yeah, exactly.
See what you get out of that.
Here's the funny thing, right? Because I got quite a bit of advice before I went there. And one of the things that was said was, make sure you've got your birth certificate, a certified copy of your birth certificate, in an envelope. And as soon as you get in the courtroom, ask if you can give something to the judge. Well, I asked, and she knew damn well, and she goes, no, I'm not accepting anything. You fucking bitch. Because it's not you that they're prosecuting, it's the trust that they set up for you. That's what your all name in caps stands for, is for that trust. That's that person, the fictional entity. That's what they are. It's not you. You're standing there in representing that. So as soon as you give the birth certificate to the magistrate, they are now representing it. They don't like that.
Right.
Because they don't like judging themselves.
There must be a way that the judge has to receive that. I guess it depends on how
she broke any number of laws in that trial. It was ridiculous. On that hearing, it wasn't a trial. In that hearing, it was, there was not kosher at all. And I know because I've got a friend who came to that, who fully understands the law, and went, that bitch just fucking railroaded you, and she didn't operate to letter at all. I mean, I had signed affidavits, witnessed affidavits from the JP. Oh, they're inadmissible. They're inadmissible. It was ridiculous. And not only that, I hadn't submitted them. The charging officer had submitted them in his brief of evidence because I sent them to him. So they were already on the record. She couldn't actually do anything about it anyway. It was all for show for the fucking media. But anyway, that's another story. I can laugh and joke about it now. But it was stressful at the time, but here we are.
Well, I mean,
2 years later.
You've learned so much from that, and you're in a position where you can share the experience of that. I'm sure that's going to be a great chapter in your next book to come out. Yeah, well, actually, I might even include it in this one. I've got it back. There's some stuff I want to add to it, so maybe it ends up in the book that's about to come out. Yeah, we're moving ahead, and things are moving ahead, and there's that little clip there that Richard Citizen put out. It's only just recently. It's a 4-minute clip, but the financial system is moving ahead, is in the process of changing. Absolutely. And Richard himself, and I consider him to be an honest man, with integrity, trying to show the world from his eyes through his camera what's really going on. So for him to come in, I'm not sure if you want to play it, Andrew. It's there. It's only a couple of minutes long.
Which one?
But it's the last one down on the Telegram that we've got.
The last one?
Yeah, that's
yeah, cool. I see.
But if you just want to play that, and that kind of would give you a little inkling on what he's seeing and what he's heard. And we know the banking system is in for massive change. We're starting to see it. If you're not seeing it in branches closing down or new ATM machines being created that are all different now. I had the experience of one here yesterday. A partner was excited. Well, she wasn't excited. She was like, "Well, why is this so different?" But yeah, just hear a little bit of what Richard's saying there, because of it's happening in his region. it'll be happening other places.
Hey.
Hey guys, it's 11/11 on March 8th, and I just want to tell you a quick story, personal, and then just a story that I was told last night. And again, there's a lot going on, and none of us can keep up with it all. I know different people will specialize in different things, but about a month or so back, 2 months back maybe, I was in Georgia, and I had a little bit of cash, and I had a bill to pay, and I went to 4 different ATMs to try to make a cash deposit. 3 of the ATMs took the cash, counted it, and then rejected it and sent it back to me and said I couldn't make the deposit for some reason. Then there's all these stories about weird things going on in banking, and there's a theme of this reevaluation thing going on. One of my friends on the Pulse, I think it's called, website, he just did like a 2-hour thing on it. I'll post it. It's all about this reevaluation stuff going on. Now, I know that Nasser Jasser is a law. I know there's a lot. I'm just doing this video to let you know there's strange things going on in the banking industry. And so I want to tell you a specific story I was told last night. So last night I was with a patriot that has a podcast. Her family made me dinner. It's really great to visit with them. And she told me a story about a bank, and the bank is Chase. And I'm not supposed to say any names or where the location was, but basically some of the employees kind of on like going into a weekend, a bunch of guys, 10, 15 guys showed up in all black suits and came in and basically put people on paid leave. No one knew what was going on. And then the following week, like Monday, Tuesday, they got an email or something that said they come back to work. They come back to work, and the whole branch, a big branch too, it's like wasn't one of the smaller banks, it was one of the bigger ones. Everything was upgraded. The computer systems were all changed out. Every single office now has a key code to access the door. And so I'm just telling you this because I'm hearing about people having difficulty getting money from banks. I hear about reevaluation. I hear about my own personal problem, which was I couldn't make a deposit through an ATM machine anyway. And so I don't know what's going on exactly. I don't think any of us do, but things are happening. So I'm just simply doing this real quick update to let you know that this is what happened. So recently, in the last few weeks, a Chase Bank had a bunch of black suits show up, swap out all the computer systems. Everything got switched over to something new. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. People got put on a paid leave situation, and then they got notice. A few days later, they come back. When they came back, they had to be completely retrained in all the new systems in that branch of that bank. So that's it. That's the update. I don't if it means something to you. And it's not like I'm not trying to do like a intel or something. It's just that people don't want to be named, and I get all that because obviously so many of us have been through so much by speaking out. You can be persecuted over these things, and you can lose your job, and you cannot, so that's why I can't say the who and who on this one. But that's just the information I just got last night, and then I asked if I could tell the story. They said sure, but leave some parts out. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great day, is having a great day, and there's a lot going on. I think that we've stopped any number of false flags. I think we're stopping world war. I think our collective unity and wanting peace and wanting to get through this, even though a lot of people have faded away, a lot of people back to normal life, a lot of people are acting like this didn't happen with masking our children and pushing a shot into people's arms and all this. People are going about things as normal, but there's lots of people still paying attention also and giving out information of what's going on. So that's it. So that's just a quick update on banking and what the heck is going on. I truly don't know, but it's bizarre. We've seen a lot of these new ATM machines come out. They got these big, huge full screens. The ATMs can do more things now than before, seemingly. But then my experience with them and at big banks, and I went to credit unions and everything else where it should work, and I bank with USA. I am switching all my banking over, which isn't that much, but I'm switching it all over to 7K because that debit card is coming out. So if you get a chance, make an appointment and find out about that. But in the meantime, these are weird things happening in the banking industry. So just at the the street level, so if you have any weird stories or if something's happening with you, put it in the comments and let me know what you're seeing or hearing about. But this is what's coming into my reality of what people are telling me. So that's the latest, guys.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's just one guy's perspective, and I guess sharing somebody else from a higher up perspective. But as he said, so something's definitely happening. But what and how, at the end of the day, we don't really know. But definitely something's happening. Have you been watching the Iraqi dinar and what's going on over there with the RV on all that?
Only thing I saw yesterday, I think it was that apparently now the the dong will go at the same time.
Yeah,
So that kind of
yeah.
excited me because I got 8 million dong in my safe.
Well, don't talk numbers.
I might have more.
Yeah, probably less. Probably 8. That'll be
8
enough.
dong. 8 dong. 8 dong.
I was just happy to be a donganeer. You know, I've always wanted to be a donganeer. You know,
I got to share something funny about this. When I was at, I had breakfast yesterday for my birthday, and for anyone that wants to know, the breakfast was shit. Don't go to that cafe. The coffee was amazing, but the breakfast was shit. It was decaf because I don't drink coffee anymore either, but I still like the flavour. Anyway, we're having a discussion about this very thing, about the RV, and this person was, I love this person to pieces. I'm not going to use the names, but this person was absolutely pissed. I was like, why? Why are you so pissed? And they were like, well, because there's all these people turning up now going, oh, I'm so pleased that I got in early before this RV, you know, and I've beat the rush. I've been in this thing for 5 fucking years. Like, oh, so you're not pissed off that they're early, or that they're getting, you know, looked after. You're pissed off that you've been in, and you're not getting the recognition that you were early. They're like, yeah, I guess, kind of.
Jeepers. 5 years? I've had my dong for over 10, probably 12 or 13. You know, it's like, and
I've
you
had
just
my
kind
dong
of
for 46. Sorry.
Oh, so you're a bigger donganeer than me then.
Stop it.
But I guess the Iraqi dinar, and it had its first sort of adjustment probably a couple of weeks ago now, but listening to some of the information coming through, because it's being done at the government level, and so you can't just change it from one to one, because a lot of the Iraqis will lose out because most of them are carrying the USD.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, the whole idea of this RV is so that country can go back and prosper
Get back on
and
its
get
feet.
back. So if they just go and swap it, then most of the country who's now reliant on the USD is going to miss out again. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know, so there has to be a process for all that, and that'd be the same for any country that's revaluing. So, you know, if you're holding any of those currencies, you know, be patient, and everything will happen as it's meant to happen and on time. It's never our time, you know. And if you think about that on the biggest picture, it's like if you are in a hurry to go somewhere, you will get every red traffic light from point A to point B. Yeah. And it's no different than what we're experiencing now. If you're in such a hurry to get to this end goal that we're all heading towards, it's going to seem to take ages. If the more that you want it and the more impatient that you are, it's like just relax, chill, go inside yourself and be calm, ground yourself, do whatever it takes. Don't get hung up on this thing happening tomorrow or the next day or the day after.
Yeah.
It'll happen
As
when
Charlie
it's
Wood says, it's happening on Thursday.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know which one. It was interesting to hear what Robert J. Gould said on that.
On the RV?
Yeah. You know, he's like, well, how's that backed? What's the guts behind it? You know, and he was doing it from a place of, he was saying it from a place of, you know, the US deliberately went in and destroyed that economy, the same as they did in Vietnam. You know, there was obviously a lot of things that come out in Vietnam. Actually, that's a good point. I think it's been since, well, we certainly didn't talk about it last week, but the US have deployed troops to Taiwan for training, to train the operatives there, to train the military. Doesn't that seem reminiscent to the Gulf of Tonkin incident? Not the Gulf of Tonkin incident, but you know, they had people on the ground in Vietnam training the military there, and then all of a sudden there was the Gulf of Tonkin incident. So are we about to see something similar? Because we knew, or we've been saying for the last 12 months that Taiwan's next, right? After Russia goes in, and let's face it, they cleaned up pretty quick. I think what we're seeing in the media is a lot of propaganda, but they said that Taiwan would be next, that China was going to be coming in to take Taiwan. Now that there's troops on the ground, does that signify that there's something coming quicker?
I just read just before that some of the outer islands have already had their internet chopped off. It's been chopped off for the last couple of months.
Oh yeah, of course. And what did we see the other day? France and Russia received a EBS.
Yeah, there's stuff happening all the way around the world.
Yeah, so that's all good stuff, I think.
Yeah. I guess it may seem negative depending on what seat in the theatre you're watching all this from. But if you know that the movie is getting hopefully closer to its big finale, which is kind of exciting because every move, every little snippet of information that we read and watch and comes our way is more confirmation that we're another day closer.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think also there's potentially some big black swan events on the horizon, and we may see several of those, or at least one of those, in the month of March. So exciting times.
Yep.
Exciting times. Anyway, we are actually over time, Andrew Hawkes.
We are. But it's been a pleasure to be here with everyone. Guys, remember, we're here every week, 11:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard. We'd love to see you here. Love to have you join us. If you're not yet subscribed, please like and subscribe to this channel. We're growing it. Share it with other people. If there's information here you thought was useful, then by all means get that out. And we'll start to do a better job of marketing this, so we can get more people in to see it.
The more the merrier.
The audios, and I'm saying this now so that I'm holding myself to account. The audios for all the past shows will be up on Spotify on our podcast platform by the show next week, including this show. So I'll get them up, and they're very raw though. It'll just be in their unedited state. They'll just be putting straight up, so you get the idea. But anyway, that's us for right now. Great to be here with you. Great to be here with you, Neil. And we'll see you guys next week. Same bit time, same bit channel.
See you guys. Love you all. Kaki.